All right, let's see. How long until I'm live? Let me know when you guys can see me. Oh, are we going? Oh, we got to watch an ad first. Okay. It's ridiculous. It's 30 seconds after I clicked hit live. Okay, let's skip this ad. There we go. All right. So, does that mean this has actually worked? It's great googly moogly. All right. Yeah, this looks like it worked. Hello, everyone. How's it going? But you can't make actual comments yet. That's interesting. All right. Well, hey, Denver sucks in the chat, please. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Yeah, that's much appreciated. Share my screen. And let's do it like this. So, welcome everyone. We are going to go over some relatively important science stuff as we are wont to do in these lives these days. Most of it's going to be space weather related, but we do have a pretty big story that was from just this morning in Earth's magnetic field. Ark Barn Farmer, thank you very much for that. And of course, some administrative things, as I always like to tack on. And then we're going to do the Q&A after that. You are looking at the last 60 minutes or 120 minutes of the sun on a loop. It's updating every time new data comes in from the GOES satellite. Had a couple of solar flares today, but really not much happening at all in the way of space weather right now. What I can say is, we said this morning that the solar storm was probably ending, and it looks like KP index is coming down into the green and really wanting to stay there. So that's a good thing. Somebody said they got no volume. I presume you guys can hear me, or else somebody would have said something, right? Does anybody else have no volume? Somebody would have said something. Somebody else would have said something. I feel bad that it's Joan. All right, I'm guessing people can hear me then. All right, so yeah, the solar storm is pretty much over at this point. That's a nice thing. As you can see, we have had some more solar flares today. Geez, that's annoying. But they haven't been major. They've been in the low M class range, and they really didn't do much of anything at all. I've been peeking in on the coronagraph on and off here today. Really not much happening with that either. We'll go through and we'll watch it once. That's the Earth, by the way, coming in front of the satellite. Pretty nominal in terms of solar wind right there. I really don't like the C core as much as I like LASCO. Hold on, let's pull up that one instead. LASCO is much better. I prefer this. Okay. Yeah, small CME activity off the limbs, not directed towards Earth at all. Okay. Yeah, so haven't had much happening in terms of space weather. This is the current sunspot situation. Obviously, this sunspot group right here is the one that has been producing flares. We have the potential, if any of these literally grow and get some bigger umbras, that they could, start producing flares. But right now, this is the best we got. Okay. Okay, that's not what I wanted you to do. All right, we'll just drag you then. So, hold on. Actually, before I do that, let's go ahead and throw the Earth scale in there so we can. There we go. So you can see how big some of these umbra are compared to the Earth. This one down here, it's definitely bigger than the Earth. That's for sure. This one up here, it's comparable in size. If you added those two together, it's pretty comparable in size. Those are powerful magnets, folks. But I can say that this one has not really been really come now. This one has not really been getting too much development since it actually became a more mature sunspot and started flaring. Like once the flaring started, it kind of geared down a little bit. Now, here's something that's interesting. Up at the top of HelioViewer, it says, due to lapse in government funding, NASA is not updating this website. We sincerely regret this inconvenience. They're just not making updates to the code. The program still works. And this is something I want to mention. It's affecting the repairs on the SDO website. But for pretty much everything else NASA is doing, I'm seeing a lot of this on the internet where they're like, the website's not being updated during the government shutdown or this or that. But here's the thing. All the missions are still a go. That includes the fact that literally the entire Mars fleet right now is observing Comet Atlas. We talked about that in the morning news. All of that stuff is still happening. The data is still coming in. The key scientists are still looking at it, not to mention the fact that most of them do not work for NASA or for NASA alone. Most of them have professorships or they work for other organizations, things like that. There you go. Anyway, thought I'd update that little tidbit. Anyway, who remembers little more than, geez, was that 6 years ago? About 6.5 years ago, the World Magnetic Model out of cycle release. This was a quietly embarrassing moment for the top geophysicists on this planet. Basically, for the last 5 or 6 5-year increment cycles, the same thing happens. They predict that the magnetic pole shift is going to slow down. It doesn't do that. It speeds up. And in 2019, it had sped up so much more than their forecast had predicted that they had to reissue the World Magnetic Model. The magnitude of such an event was crazy. They smartened up a little bit, and for the most recent 5-year increment, they didn't have it slowing down. They had it basically maintaining its pace. And while it did speed up, it didn't exceed the error limit that would have caused them to do another World Magnetic Model out of cycle release. But this was big. And the reason it happened is because Earth's magnetic pole shift kept speeding up. This was the big story from this morning. And there are some key things I want to point to because I've seen data supporting them in other places, and I've seen scientists discussing these things in other places as well. So first, they're focusing on confirming early signs of forecast degradation detected in spring of 2025. What does that mean? Well, the forecast degradation getting so bad is what caused them to have to do this. So here we are. They just released the World Magnetic Model in December of 2024. It's spring 2025, and we're already starting to see the signs that they're going to have to do this again. Why would that be the case? Well, I can tell you this, that the World Magnetic Model data cutoff had to be months before that. But they also said possible geomagnetic jerk centered in Western Europe and North America in 2024, which I'm imagining if it was anywhere in the latter half of 2024, it would not have been in the data for the World Magnetic Model that got released several months later in December. And so we already have signs of forecast degradation, which basically means the error rate is growing. And now we know that we had a geomagnetic jerk observed over Western Europe and North America. I'm not going to lie, that puzzles me because it is almost certain that what Dr. Sergei Simonenko identified for March of 2023, which was associated with a phenomenal acceleration and magnetic anomaly in terms of this ongoing magnetic pole shift. That would mean these two things happened one year after another. I've never seen geomagnetic jerks in back-to-back years. Never. I don't know. I don't know if it's actually happened before. Not to mention the fact that they said it's following a secular acceleration pulse centered in 2022. That one hasn't been published anywhere else. I'm not even sure what the heck they're talking about. I'm going to do what I can to get the poster and see if I can. If anybody's going to AGU 25 in December, by all means, don't miss this. This is the number one thing in the program I wouldn't miss if I was going. Over the next couple of days, I promised you guys I'm going to be sharing some of the best presentations, poster sessions, etc., that are coming at AGU 25. And I'm going to be doing that over the coming days, but I saved the best for first. All right. That's how I do things. I don't know how to do it any other way. And so this one's curious. So I'd like to, I want to know more about this pulse that they saw in 2022. I would like to know if there is really a geomagnetic jerk in 2024, because geomagnetic jerks are supposed to be 4 to 7 years apart. They're not supposed to be in back-to-back years. I'm kind of hoping they're wrong. I don't know. And then, of course, that I don't want to pull too much focus away from the fact that it took one season. We got through winter at the start of the year of 2025. And then spring came. We got through one season before the error rate got to the point where they're calling it forecast degradation. Anyway, that's going to be December 17th. That's going to be a good one. I will be, where are they doing? They're doing that in New Orleans. Yeah. It just so happens I know for a fact that during this entire thing, I've got the kids. Not to mention the fact that a couple of days before that, I am going to be in San Diego, California, and that would be a lot of traveling. You guys know that the tickets for the winter tour are available, right? Put the link in the morning show. I'll do it every morning here for the days ahead. This is going to be a pretty intense session. We're going to be going over some of the key details about what's happening, how to survive this, and key things you need to think about. You're actually going to be getting material from me that you can take home and use as a checklist or use to help guide your process. And then, of course, one of my favorite parts of every meeting, a Q&A. So what I hear is Orlando is selling very, very quickly. I will say this. If any of them sell out before my birthday, which is October 21st, by the way, if any of them sell out before my birthday, I'm gonna be calling up the venue and being like, "Hey, could I have that same room the next day, maybe?" Anyway, guys, the link is in the morning news. I suppose I could put it here, or you guys could just randomly start trickling the link into the chat here. Yeah. Anyway. Guys, I'm not going to lie. I don't feel very salty this evening. This has me feeling a little bit, but I'm not feeling too salty at the moment. Here's the thing. Like, this entire thing right here is concerning, but at the same time, my prediction and my forecast has been concerning news due to concerning things unfolding before us in this realm. And so it's not surprising. Like, I'm not sitting here like, wow, I can't believe it. But at the same time, it's kind of like, pardon my French, if any of your kids are in the room, send them the hell out or cover their ears. It's kind of like, oh, fascinating. Fuck. Okay. All right. Anyway. The fun things. All right, let's go here. There I am. Q&A, shall we? I like that. I got through the science portion in 15 minutes, including the plug for my winter tour. That's not bad. That's not bad. All right. Will there be a Canadian tour? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Come to us. We are friendly. At least in the Republican parts of the country, we're friendly. God knows what's going to happen to you if you show up in Portland or Chicago. Susie Rose Finley, great to see you. Oh, yeah, you're going to see me in Vegas. That's awesome. Jimmy says, pear character pudding is, oh, right on. They don't actually show me the teal pear on here, but luckily I've got it pulled up over there. So they still make me happy. Okay. Gas Station Viagra, sounds like a reputable individual, says we have 2.8 years before the disaster. Well, thank God Gas Station Viagra is here to tell us these things. Honest to God, really. What would we do without you? I shudder to imagine where we'd be. Too much? Really be written right unless you have a military warship. CK's asking about the waves and whether or not they're going to be too damaging to float on. Here's what you have to realize. Because it's spread out over 24 hours, in terms of the acceleration and deceleration, we're talking about 17 miles per hour per minute. You experience about 17 miles per hour per second acceleration and deceleration every time you stop at a stop sign or every time you punch it on the highway. 17 miles per hour per minute is virtually nothing. It's just that it's 17 miles per hour every minute, every, hour after hour. And so, yeah, at one point you're going to be going hundreds of miles an hour. But when you're up on an airplane going 500, 600 miles an hour, are you holding on for dear life or can you get up and walk around the cabin? Looking good, Ben. I appreciate that. I love this shirt. It's one of my favorite Jesus shirts. Michigan tour? Probably not. I can tell you I'll be coming home, meaning where I grew up, probably in next October. In fact, I think it's 1 year from today. If 1 year from today is a Saturday, because it's that first weekend in October 2026, I'm already looking at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Cajun, you did miss the science portion, but you could always go back and rewatch. Absolutely not. You seem offended by Canada. I'm just not leaving the States. It's only a matter of time before you guys start arresting people for memes like the UK is. And have you seen my X feed? Whoo! Did you like that sound? I'm going to do it again. Whoo! All right, here. Birdie, what's up? Good to see you. Field strength, decrease quantity. We just talked about that the last several days, man. We're probably down to about 30. Go back and do your homework from the last couple of videos. Don't skip class. Laser boy. Laser. I shouldn't make fun of that. It's kind of cool. When I was younger, I would have killed for that username on something. Can you go into any detail about snow accumulation after the flip, especially in northern latitudes above the 45th parallel? And will areas close to the new equator melt faster than others, or are we looking at new glaciers forming in mountain valleys? I mean, Thing is, I don't have intimate details. I'm pretty sure you can just put the new poles where they are, expand out to where the current polar regions are, and then approximately double it. But with a fading intensity as you go out the second one. So you've got the polar region around the poles, double that out. But in the second one, the ring around it, have it dropping to zero from a little worse than what we have today. Everywhere is going to see snow, though there will be snow on the equator. How long it sticks. The super flares are going to start very soon after, in the wake of the micronova during the reorganization of the chromosphere and the photosphere. So I would say that given all the dust and the heat trapping properties of dust and their energetic re-emission as infrared, the planet's going to heat back up very quickly. That's what Robert Schoch and I were discussing when we had our interview about 14 years ago now, maybe 12, 14 years ago. We're looking at how there's evidence that the last ice age ended in just a couple of days, and there's even evidence that it ended in a few hours. X1000 super flare. And so that's what's going to be happening in the wake of the micronova. So there's going to be a really fast, really hard freeze, and then we're going to slowly climb back up the thermometer. Lorraine, thank you so much. Riding the firework. Beautiful. 7-year tribulation started. I'm really not that much of. I mean, I've done a lot of connection between the disaster cycle and scripture, but I can't say I'm a scripture expert, so I wouldn't want to say whether or not the official tribulation has begun. Ben, you're so cute fighting for the human race, just doing your thing. Well, I appreciate that. Cute is what I was going for. April 3rd. Oh, here we go. April 3rd, 2033 will be the 2000th anniversary of Christ's crucifixion. Wolf. I thought I was a bring down. As the galactic current sheet passed Alpha Centauri, Epsilon, Indy, etc., would we not see them micronova as well? Won't that provide us some warning? So, Spy, I see you haven't done all of your homework. First of all, not every star will take the same amount of time to react, and different stars are going to react in different ways. So the bigger a star is and the weaker the magnetic field is, the more likely they're going to have a micronova-like event. But the smaller a star is and the more powerfully magnetic the star is, the more likely that the galactic current sheet is going to trigger a super flare type event. And that's what we've seen on the 4 stars in the 4 stars that should be going off, boom, 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 and then we're next. We've watched that happen one after another in the proper order. They're all super flares, though, because we're looking at red dwarf stars, powerfully magnetic, known for their super flares, in fact. But Proxima, Barnard star, AD Leo, Gliese 5 something. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but we have seen them. They're going off one by one right at us from the center of the galaxy, and we are next. Okay, now I'm back to being the bring down. There we go. All is right in the world. Great, now take the shirt off. Okay. You first. Oh, shit, is that you? You're actually cute. Have you heard of Observer Ranch? Somebody's talking to Smedley. I don't know. I hope you find them, Cobbin Rockets. Commercial in the chat? There's a commercial in the chat? No way. Barbarian, nice to see you. Can you please name the 3 natural discoveries that will be announced? I didn't say 3 natural discoveries that will be announced. I know that they're doing. My God, that's absolutely horrifying, isn't it? Okay. um, there's a team that is working on nailing down a name for the event 6,000 years ago. There is likely to be a very strong geomagnetic storm as we head into what I think is going to be the declining phase of the cycle. However, if I'm wrong, it's a second peak and a higher chance with more sunspots anyway. But I do think that we're not going to get through 2026 without some kind of a significant solar storm, similar to May of 2024. And then I think we're going to see something very significant happen with the oceans, whether that's big news with the AMOC, the Beaufort Gyre releasing, the Gulf Stream shutting down, marine creature navigation failures, things like that. Man, a lot of people wanted to know the answer to that. Way to yank it out of me. Send the galactic current sheet to Portland. My God, I wish. Have it clip Seattle while it's up there. Lance says, hi from Australia. Does the galactic current obey the speed of light rule? Yeah, it's way slower than that. Way slower than that. I'd love for you to shit on the stupid counterpoint that upper atmosphere cooling proves the sun doesn't force climate. They ignore polar mesosphere echo. That really doesn't make any sense at all. I've never thought it made any sense that, but here's the other thing. Anybody looking to that is literally 25 years behind. Like, even the people, the most staunch global warming activists who are saying it's our fault, even they're not trying to make that point about the sun. Like, that one died and went away a while ago. Earthquakes above 910 during the shift, very possibly. Man, I'm behind on the chat. Scrolling. There's Barbarian, which I saw over there. Salt Shaker, thank you, Dumpster Diving Dragon. I appreciate that. I'm seeing a lot of people saying take the shirt off. No, not going to happen. You show up to Observer Ranch, I'll pop it off. This might be a retarded question. I love those. But after the flip, could there be a chance of a change in overall wind pattern, the jet stream direction? I would imagine so, especially since the planet, where are we here? The planet's going to be oriented like this, rotating like this. So yeah, I think there's going to be some changes. Just if I had to guess, Thank you for shaving. Yeah, it was my son. My son made me do it. Jawline is too good to cover it up like that. All right, so scrolling. Does the crustal displacement happen on every 12,000 year cycle? Yes, and I don't think it happens on the 6,000 year cycle. Very good. Air hugs right back at you, Barbarian. When are you coming to the ranch? Have I caught up? I've caught up. Fascinating. What's the impact if it hits the ocean? If what hits the ocean, Carol? I'm at the ranch to see your shirt. Yes, but I've already seen you there, Birdie, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. Gothy Mom. I like your name. You're proud of Adam, but it was actually Noah. Noah did it. When's your appearance on Joe Rogan? Whenever he invites me. Whenever he invites me. He's a Fed. Who, me? Or Joe? Who are you calling a Fed? Be specific. Them's fighting words around here. Katie Light, wish I could hug you. You are quite welcome. Imir 8 Atu. Imir 8 Atu. I want to know how I'm supposed to pronounce your name. Where do you end your beard? Where do you cut your sideburns? Could never figure that out. Well, these are kind of, I mean, like the sideburns are there. The light's making it hard to see. I have no beard at the moment. How can I DM you, Ben? Twitter. X is the only. I'm not going to lie. I don't look at YouTube comments very often. I don't really pay much of attention to my emails either. X is another story. Twitter. Do you want to actually interact with me electronically? Twitter, in real life, come to the ranch or one of the winter tour events. That's why I'm doing it. That's the point. You look younger this way. You know, everybody in my life tells me I look younger. And again, I spend my entire life telling everybody else you're wrong and I'm right. So, who knows what to make of their statements? Lorraine says, giant. Oh, nice. The buildings tremble. Atlas. What about Comet Atlas, Christian? I was talking about it earlier. Well, I'll say this. Anybody doing any speculating now while the Mars fleet is literally like this close to the comet? Like the date is coming in a couple of days. We're going to know literally everything about Comet Atlas. And I mean everything in just a couple of days. It's coming. You guys can have fun talking and speculating and guessing. God knows me and Billy and me and Adrian used to do that all the time. And it's fun to do. In reality, we're about to have all the information we could ever need. So Africa becomes the new tornado alley. I wouldn't be shocked if there were a lot of tornadoes in Africa like there are in the United States right now. Tone, what is up, buddy? Tone Vase is in the house. I know I'm behind on the chat. I'm trying to catch up. Tone, how are you? I am using I'm using Restream. Thank you, Tony. I'm irate at you. Oh my God, Megan Newell, you are so right. That's exactly what it is. The name I was trying to figure out how to pronounce, I'm irate at you. All right, Megan Newell, you've got a brain up there between your ears. I'm impressed. You're smart. I want to meet more smart people. Come to the ranch. Could a strong enough solar storm or flare CMEs loosen the crust? Here's the thing. Maybe. But I mean, look, I'm pretty sure that it's the X1000 super flare on the half cycles, and then it's the micronova at the 12,000 year cycle. If an X1000 is not going to do it, I mean, maybe it's something special about the micronova. I wish I could know. And if I don't know the answer to that question, Troy, nobody does. If any of you guys have questions about your book, one, I promise I am signing them as fast as I can. And I promise Kat and Mike and Barb at the ranch, we're getting them out as fast as we can. It's just there's thousands of them and there's so much going on. I mean, it's not like I have all day, every day to do it. Like I literally just had my kids for 7 of the last 9 days. That makes it really hard, you know? Anyway. Yeah. Other than that, if you need to like change your shipping method or you really need some kind of an update, you're going to have to either email Kat or email the ranch. When the oceans shift, will Marianas Trench be more visible? I mean, maybe. I think that, I mean, when the waters come back down into the basins, that's going to be the first thing that gets, filled back in. What's going on with Space Weather News? I'm not entirely sure. I saw that. I'm gonna see if maybe it was a connection issue to Todd's site or the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center. I'll figure it out. For now, just use NOAA's website. You don't need it. You're not Magic Mike. You're beautiful Ben, and you don't need you exposed to other people. That's pride. I don't know, man. I don't know, Callie. Sounds kind of fun if you ask me. Ben never reacts to my gifts on X. I react up here, Jimmy. I react up here. No homo indeed, Prester John. Does the Halloween party have a costume theme? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Joe is asking about Stephen Burns. Just I can't with people right now. I can't with people right now. I need teal pears to desalinate. Was Doug Vogt's guesstimate of 400 meters evaporation of the ocean when the micronova hits close? No, not even close. Absolutely kind of nonsensical. How old am I? I am 40 years old. NASA will give us truthful info. Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about Atlas, they're not the ones who are going to be giving it. It's the university professors. And they're going to be providing all the data, and the data is going to be open source, and you can go look at it yourself. Jimmy Corsetti, I've got to get him to agree to come out here. Actually, you know what? Hold on. Because I keep forgetting this shit. Give me a minute here. What is this mother? I'm just going to tell him when he's coming. Because this is annoying. Give me a minute. I'm texting Bright Insight. I'm texting Jimmy. Jimmy! I'll give you a choice, buddy. All right. Let's do... Bear with me, people. Bear with me. All right. There. Jimmy. I can't even begin to tell you how frustrating it is trying to get that man to do anything. He's lucky I like him so much. Ben, do you eat strictly carnivore? I'm gearing up to start. Looking forward to it. I find that I go so hard in the gym, it's really challenging to do that on ketones alone. But I make sure it's something like blueberries or strawberries. And then for the after workout carbs, because you always want to sandwich your carbs around your workout. So right before and right after. Right after, there's some carbs in a protein shake, all of that goes to recovery. So I would say no, I'm not strictly carnivore. Yeah, I'm irate at you. I figure I got it now. Thanks. Praying that we get more rain after the flip, live like a Viking. Well, we'll get more rain at the ranch. I don't know about Vegas. That's a good question. Other than yourself, top 3 to follow on X for honest info. Woof. What kind? I mean, info about this stuff, or just the people who I think have really got their stuff together? So that's 2 different questions. Ethical skeptic. If we're talking about the disaster, ethical skeptic, noble art, Craig Stone. There's several. Jason Wild. If we're talking about just smart individuals overall, I like Homath. You guys know I love home math. He's a really smart guy. It's the only one I can think of right now. Anyway, I want to get back to answering questions about this. I wish it was gone, Ben. I've seen upper atmosphere cooling uses the sole point to debunk the sun. Tens of thousands of likes, comments turned off. Well, fuck them. Just ignore it and move on. Look, here's the thing. There's already no reaching somebody who's not awake right now. The board is set. Nobody's switching teams anymore. We're talking a fraction of the movement horizontally. Not happening anymore. Let them go. Does anybody ever troll you because you are short-wicked? Only online. I've yet to meet somebody with the balls to do it in person. Are you digging a well at the ranch? Tammy, we're good. And most of the survival-related stuff at the ranch, that's confidential. Would you come to Bakersfield? I swear, every state in the country has a Bakersfield. What are you talking about? Which one? Hey, Ben, watching for a decade now. That's a long time. That makes you an SOOG. SOOG. That's my Snoop voice. Gabrielle, thank you for that. To your previous question, you meant will the magnetic reversal cause the weather to switch directions, not the way the planet lies? Okay, but the planet is going to be that way. And it's going to be rotating like this. So no, the weather is not going to stay. I mean, the weather would be going pole over pole like this, as opposed to going around the world like this. So no, it is not going to keep doing this. It is going to adjust. Hey, have you guys noticed since I've been using Restream, I have not glitched out? Right? I mean, it hasn't glitched out at all, which is pretty cool. Thank you, everyone, for the teal pairs. I really like it. Oh, you guys are the best. There's another one. Scrolling. We've sucked a lot of oil out of the earth. I really thought that was going somewhere else at the first two words of the sentence. Will we have enough lube or fuck? Will the ride get a little rough? Damn it, bro. As we raw dog the rotation, reboot Congress. It just kept getting worse the whole way down the damn comment. It gets worse every line. It got worse. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. You jackass. But I'll give you a hug if you come to the ranch for that one. That was fun. Come on, Ben. When will the poll flip? How many times do I got to tell you? The 2040s. You miss Jimmy's videos. He doesn't do them anymore. Jimmy doesn't do videos anymore? To be perfectly honest, I don't really check YouTube much. I really just follow him on X. But he's not doing videos? What is he doing? What's going on? All right. I'm gonna I think I gotta go knock on his door or something. Ben, I've written a science fiction book for publication. I'd like a character to use your eyes open, no fear line with attribution in it, please. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Sounds lovely. Tone, yeah, build it up, dude. I want to see the progress next time we meet. All right, man? Is this a gym show or a space show? Whatever the fuck I want it to be, Shepard. Eat a dick. And I'm not the one asking the questions. What do you want me to do? Be like, no, fuck you. Thanks for your money, but no, I'm not going to answer your question. What do you want me to do, man? Math question. Have you calculated how long the ice caps might take to melt down after they swing out to the new equation? They're not going to melt. Antarctica, Greenland, they're not going to melt all the way off. We're going back into glacial conditions. And right now, 12,000 years into a hot interglacial, there are still glaciers in the tropics today in South America, in Africa, and in Asia. Or what do you call Indonesia? Is that Oceania or whatever? But anyway, no, they're not going to melt, so I don't have a timeline for that. Marty, thank you for the pair. Learn to preserve food, smoke, dry, ferment, pickle. Cantarabella, we are actually going to have fermentation and preservation classes at the ranch next year. We are upping the game at the ranch for next year in ways that you're not going to believe. Yeah. I want you guys to survive this. I'm putting everything I have into you guys surviving this. Anyway, scrolling as I am wont to do. Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Needed to hear that. You're right. We go together. Enoch 65:1. And in those days, Noah saw the earth had tilted and that its destruction was near. I actually like the other translation. And Noah saw the earth had turned over and knew its destruction was near. But Barb, that actually kind of sounds more of the time. The one I like just sounds more sensationalized. That one sounds like more of the time. All right, Barb, I'm going to give it to you, but also it's really good to see you. And way to bring that in there. Jimmy, thank you for the pair. How do I get my teens to prepare for life without power? It's got to be a tough transition. They know what's coming. I have absolutely no idea. Maybe make them do it one day a week. Are you off grid there? No, we're not. There's no reason to go off grid until you have to go off grid. It's not intelligent. Stay as part of the world on the periphery of it as you can until there is no more world. I don't know how old you are. Depends on that. I'm 40. Where is the ranch? And is it a community or retreat type place? Momster Michelle, observerranch.com. Gamma rays do what to humans? Kill them. Cancel your electric service. Jeez, what? Time frame yet? For what? Time frame for what? You better not be asking time frame for the pole shift. Just tell me you haven't done the homework without telling me you haven't done the homework. So you only answer paid questions. Do you not know how live streams work? If I answered every single question, or if I didn't scroll and just look for those ones specifically, you know what? You could be a dick if you want. We don't talk about Fight Club. Live like a Viking. There we go. Marty came for the salt. Well, I have gotten a little bit salty in the last couple of minutes, haven't I? Hey, man, it was great meeting you over the last couple of weekends. You still need to check out the movie Greenland. I know. If you're interested in a great Orthodox church in the Springs, Holy Theophany is great. I've decided I'm going to go with muscular Christianity. I'm not joking. You might not be glitching out as much, but I had to make a whole new YouTube account to be able to send teal pairs. Gabrielle, wow, that's terrible. I'm sorry, but it's nice to have you here, though. Thank you. The fact is backed up by others. I don't know what the hell that means. Liger Leaf, thank you for the pair. You wish you were 40 years old. You wish you were 40 years younger. Antarctica is going to be the most amazing place to explore when it's at the equator. After about 150, 200 years, yeah, it will be. Does the crust stop rotating after it unlocks, or does it try to keep rotating as it's slipping down? So the rotation adjusts as the tilt occurs. It's hard to describe it any other way. How long is the water going to last? I don't know what you're asking me. What do you mean, how long is the water going to last? Barb's sourdough and kombucha were great. They really were. That sourdough, I'm so glad she busted it out at the dinner. Oh, that was wonderful. I was so happy. Yeah, I had some of Barb's sourdough because it's sourdough and that's allowed. You understand this, right? Good. David MP says cancel Netflix. Well, unfortunately, my 5-year-old autistic son would fucking kill me if I got rid of Netflix. And so, no, I'm not going to do it just because Elon says so. And I've already figured out how to block the trans show so that they don't get that stuff. And although it's not like my autistic son is going to get anything from the trans show anyway. Muscular Christianity was called Atlanteism back in the day. That's a great freaking name. Is that true, or did you just make that shit up, Holocron Library Fox? His name is Holocron Library Fox. Something tells me he's not making this up. Atlanteism. I'm an Atlantean. There we go. Muscular Christianity. I'm an Atlantean. End of story. There is something I want to do, though. There's something I want to make sure works on this restream. So somebody's got to type something worthy of being shown to everybody. Somebody's got to type something so awesome, something so super cool that it deserves to be seen by everyone watching the stream right now. When will be the 3 days of darkness? Probably Lydia, please do the homework, all right? Please do the homework. The answer is the 2040s. Librarians never lie. Okay, you know what? I don't know what to say about that. You know what? We're just going to do that. All right, so let's see. Can we see that on the screen? Joan Q. Public says librarians never lie. All right, we're going to hide that one. You guys did see that, right? All right, now, Frederick says, supernova. You guys are seeing that, right? I really hope so. You hope that the next event in February is also at the ranch? I don't know what you're saying, Tesseract. The next event? Are you talking about the experience? That will be in February, but that's probably going to have to be in Arizona, so we don't potentially get snowed out. How have you not acted in a movie yet, given your handsome looks? Oh, Jeet's a flatterer. How about that? All right, cool. So you guys were seeing that. That's awesome. All right. What the happened with the unexpected solar storm? It happened, and then it died down. It never got to the point of being terrifying. It's just that it shouldn't have been there in the first place. Messianic Jewish Christian here. I don't even know what to say to that. We deep dive Revelation, had some fun there. An apostle banished on an island. Only company is God. Amazing scriptures. You can't rectify being a Jew and being Christian. One sees Jesus as the holiest of holies. The other thinks he's rotting in excrement, burning in hell. No, absolutely not. You can't. Qatar Bella, you're asking us to start noticing right here on the live stream, aren't you? You're asking us just to start noticing. Gabrielle, thanks for the teal pair. Explain the unexpected solar storm. What do you mean explain it? Earth's magnetic field is weak. Basically, it got nudged and it fell over and was like, climate change. And I explained it already. I said what the whole reason why it got stronger than expected. Were you not listening in the morning news? Pay attention. Oh, climate change did it to me. I thought it was funny. Is your nickname Fluffy Ben? Yeah, sure. You can call me Susan if it makes you happy. If you know a movie that's from, I'm really impressed. The Lost Book of Enki has some very interesting stuff in it about what we're talking about here. Yes, it certainly does. All right. This has been a fun hour. I like this. For those who are, well, you know what? If you're at the ranch right now, you're probably doing the activity that's going on right there. But I'll be at the ranch tomorrow, he said to none of the people that are at the ranch right now because they would be doing something. Yeah, I'm going to try to do a live on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'm going to do it. And yeah, I left Denver as trash up there for quite a while on purpose. I'm sorry. No, you know what? I'm not sorry. Doesn't matter. All right, guys. I will see you in the morning for the daily show.